Donald Trump just gave a speech in Doral, Florida, at a resort that he owns before the MAGA Republicans, who he made pay them to watch his speech. This was given to the MAGA Republican Congress members. Donald Trump put his name on the food. So if you were eating the burgers, it had Trump's name on it. I mean, very odd. They're not really going to get rid of the allegations that this is a cult. Donald Trump's speech was disastrous, folks. Donald Trump talked about how he was thinking about like rounding up Americans and putting them on flights to other countries, and to deport them to other countries. Donald Trump said that he was going to impose tariffs on the semiconductor industry. This follows the DeepSeek release by China, which has just crippled our AI industry here in the United States after the AI tech bros met with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. This DeepSeek release by China, which has really just destroyed, I think 17% decrease in the value of a lot of these American tech companies, over $1 trillion lost. The NASDAQ was just down so much today, but that's what you get with Donald Trump. But Donald Trump was saying this is a great thing. This is really good. He says, DeepSeek, it's really good, but then threatened our ally Taiwan with tariffs while saying DeepSeek was good. I just think Donald Trump is the most ignorant, dangerous person ever, period, yet alone to hold that position. But I want to separate the WMD, weapon of mass distraction, with some of the actually most dangerous stuff that he's saying. It's all dangerous, but let's just take a look. Donald Trump starts talking about how all of these people are coming into the United States from insane asylums, because Donald Trump thinks political asylum is the same as insane asylum. Trump once again lies that the late 19th century was the, quote, richest period in the history of the United States because of tariffs. It was clearly not the richest time in the U.S. history. Under President Biden, our GDP was growing quicker than that of China, but all of the right-wing propaganda said otherwise. Donald Trump said he's signing an executive order to have the Defense Department start constructing a, quote, Iron Dome defense system for the United States. Whatever the heck that means. Is he referring to the Iron Dome that they have in Israel? I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about, but he says he's going to do that by executive order. Donald Trump then talks about withholding aid to California because of California voter ID laws. Donald Trump says, quote, it's crooked as hell, and I hope you can go to voter ID in the same day voting and paper ballots and all of those things, because ultimately we'll never lose a race if you do that. And then Donald Trump made a bizarre statement about TikTok. So while he was praising DeepSeek as a good thing, even though it's destroying American corporations right now, he said about TikTok, China won't be involved with the TikTok deal. You don't want China involved, but we'll see what happens. It should be noted that the CEO of ByteDance, which owns TikTok, was basically one of these broligarchs who have been hanging out with Donald Trump. And also, any of the deals proposed would still have China somewhat involved, just as a minority stakeholder. But with Donald Trump, who knows facts? Who knows? He just makes things up. So let me show you this right here, though. I think it's important that you see it here. Donald Trump, he says it's very unusual when you hear DeepSeek. Again, this is the China AI model that was released that like crushed OpenAI. China open sourced this DeepSeek model. This is why the NASDAQ was crashing earlier in the day. This is bad, bad, bad for American corporations. But Donald Trump's like, maybe it's a good thing. Here, play this clip.
This is very unusual when you hear a DeepSeek, when you hear somebody come up with something. We always have the ideas. We're always first. So I would say that's a positive. That could be very much a positive development. So instead of spending billions and billions, you'll spend less and you'll come up with hopefully the same solution under the Trump administration.
So then, to make matters even worse, Donald Trump says he will be putting tariffs on semiconductors. Listen to this. Let's play it.
Plans put together. In particular, in the very near future, we're going to be placing tariffs on foreign production of computer chips, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals to return production of these essential goods to the United States of America. They left us and they went to Taiwan, where which is about 98% of the chip business, by the way. And we want them to come back. And we don't want to give them billions of dollars like this ridiculous program that Biden has. Give everybody billions of dollars. They already have billions of dollars. They've got nothing but money, Joe. They didn't need money. They needed an incentive. And the incentive is going to be they're not going to want to pay a 25, 50, or even 100% tax. They're going to build their factory with their own money. We don't have to give them money. They're going to come in because it's good for them to come in. They're giving them money. They don't even know what they're going to do with it. I had people tell me, we have no idea. We didn't need money. They don't know if they're...
And here's Donald Trump once again saying that it's very positive, this deep seek. He says, I think it's a good thing. Here, play this clip.
Today and over the last couple of days, I've been reading about China and some of the companies in China, one in particular, coming up with a faster method of AI and much less expensive method. And that's good because you don't have to spend this much money. I view that as a positive, as an asset. So I really think if it's fact and if it's true, and nobody really knows if it is, but I view that as a positive because you'll be doing that too. So you won't be spending as much and you'll get the same result, hopefully. The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that. They said, you have the most brilliant scientists in the world in Seattle and various places. But Silicon Valley, they said, there's nobody like those people.
By the way, Donald Trump saying that's what he does when he lies, right? Like with COVID, remember, like a miracle, it's all going to go away. Things are great because he's a complete liar. So he thinks if I just say it's good, then a horrible thing, I'll just make Americans believe this is a good thing. It's just what weak and pathetic people do. And it's what he was doing. Right there. And again, it gives that COVID, like a miracle, it's all going to go away vibes. Once again, this is what the people were eating there. Trump burgers with his name on it. Then, more just chaotic and craziness. Trump goes, how he's like Elvis. He says he's like the Beatles. And he's like, it's like Trump. I'm like the Beatles. I'm like Elvis. Then he says that Susie Wiles, his chief of staff, is the Ice Maiden. How good is she? By the way, she kicked out Elon Musk from the West Wing and then pushed him over to the old executive office building, which is right across the street. Donald Trump says the United States has become a meritocracy again. We are a country that is based now on merit or success. Tucker Carlson's son Buckley just got a job working for J.D. Vance. Our new defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, had no experience anywhere close to being a secretary of defense, never ran a military command before at all, but he now is in charge of our nuclear weapons here, whereas under President Biden was a retired four-star general who was one of the most decorated individuals in the history of the military. But what MAGA wants you to focus on is Google says it will change the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, winning. Then Donald Trump tries to, bait you with the headlines of, he goes, I've raised money for the next race and I assume I can't use it for myself, referring to running again for another term. He goes, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. Am I allowed to run again? Mike Johnson, Mike, can I run again? He wants us to go, oh my God, he's threatening a dictatorship and all these things. By the way, you take it seriously, but what is he also distracting from here? Donald Trump talks about getting approval to deport Americans to other countries. I want you to listen closely to this. Play this clip.
And I say, and this is subject to getting it approved, but if they've been arrested many, many times, they're repeat offenders by many numbers, I want them out of our country. I also will be seeking permission to do so. We're going to get approval, hopefully, to get them the hell out of our country along with others. Let them be brought to a foreign land and maintained by others for a very small fee as opposed to be maintained in our jails for massive amounts of money, including the private prison companies that charge us a fortune. Let them be brought out of our country and let them live there for a while. Let's see how they like it. You'll see crime all over the country dry up. Essentially, that's what Venezuela and other countries are doing. They're getting rid of their criminals and putting them into the United States of America. And their crime is down by almost 80%.
Now, I think it's important that you understand this in context with Donald Trump working out a deal, or his administration trying to work out a deal with El Salvador to deport migrants who are not from El Salvador to El Salvador, and perhaps Americans as well. Who knows what his plan is here? You take a look at Human Rights Watch right there. Here is what the El Salvador prisons look like. And so Trump's plan is to send people from other countries who aren't from El Salvador here. And then the El Salvador has that leader who does all of that TikTok propaganda about being a strong man and all of that. So folks, I want to keep you posted on all of the developments. A disastrous speech, and obviously what he's saying there about tariffing the semiconductor industry after what's going on with DeepSeek, he's going to wreaking havoc on American business and American industries. Everybody hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. It's free to subscribe, so please subscribe now if you can.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.